Oh, am I live? Oh, I'm live. I'm live. I didn't notice. There's a little background. But I'm guessing it has to be like that. 1 second. The first one didn't go through. It wouldn't start. I mean, the mic wouldn't work. So, all right. Assalamu alaikum. How you doing? Good evening. May peace be upon you, my brothers, sisters, daughters, sons, whoever's gonna watch this and whoever's not gonna watch this. I wasn't gonna do a video. I wasn't gonna do a live feed tonight, but connecting with a person that I haven't been in touch with in a while, that used to be very, very important to me, brought up feelings that I've been having for a long time, and thoughts inside me that I've been meaning to get off my chest. So I figured, hey, what the heck, right? Maybe I could have or should have recorded a video and just posted it, but this is easier. I don't want to sadden anyone, but the stuff that we talk about on here is serious stuff, man. And the world is not all fun and games, and I think that we gotta speak up about this stuff. The next topic, the next issue I'm gonna talk about, maybe it's not my place to talk about it, but I feel like it is my place, and I think that all of us should speak out if we see issues going on in communities or in subgroups or in races or in nationalities. Maybe we don't have a right, but if we do it with a clear heart and a pure intuition and truly wanted to change something, and realizing on top of that we are all one. Essentially, we are all one live, breathing, thinking, acting, conscious organism, right? So with that said, just a quick story. Just like I always say, these videos, these live feeds, there's nothing scripted. There's nothing that I prepared before this. So if I get stuck a little bit in the moment, I'm just letting the information, the correct information channel through me, and I don't want to just blur some shit out. But today I want to talk about Native Americans and reservations and the communities that I had the pleasure to visit and to kind of be a part of briefly. Now, let me first say that a lot, if some people are going to watch this, I'm not doing this for views. So if it's meant to reach out people, then it will reach people. And if there are going to be some Native Americans that are going to watch this, they're going to be like, who the fuck is this white boy think he is that he got the right to tell us anything? Well, first of all, like I said a few minutes before, my intentions are pure. That's one. Two, I am Slavic, Eastern European. And I'm going to get into this a lot more. And tomorrow night, I'm going to have a guest that's going to really take us back through Slavic history and someone. It's a secret guest and someone that has something to say about this. And I can't wait to have him. Very excited. But the point is, and I'm gonna make countless videos about this until someone freaking gets this through their head. The Slavic people and Eastern Europeans, mostly, we have nothing to do and no ties to Western European reptilian fucking humanoid amphibian cold-blooded people that. Now let me stop myself, because I'm not talking about everyone and every single person in Western Europe. Not at all. I love all of you that are actually a human in Western Europe. I'm talking about these reptilian, cold-blooded, blood-sucking, fucking colonizing, raping, pillaging, fucking feed off our energy creatures that mostly have been trying. I'm not gonna say are ruling and conquering, and I don't want to say beings. I'm not gonna say ruling. Once again, I can't find the proper word. It's late over here on the East Coast, but all of y'all are gonna get what I'm saying. I'm not gonna say that. I'm never gonna say they're actually ruling, because that's another video, but shortly, because they have no power over us light beings. That's why in the Bible it said we were created in the image of God. And we're going to talk about the whole Bible and the meaning of being created in the image of God. Today, it's tonight. It's all about what I have experienced as far as Native Americans. So once again, to all my Western European humans that are actually vibrating in higher energy frequencies, humans, not animal, not, because there are a lot of animals amongst us. All of you, my brothers, my sisters, I love you. I feel all of the world's pain. Trust me. But I'm talking about those bad seed races and, alien or whatever you want to call them, freak creatures and people, dynasties and monarchies that have been turning the world upside down. And that's a whole other video too. So we're going to get into all of that. But I'm talking about, white in appearance humanoids, man. So, Slavic people, we never have colonized and went abroad and enslaved anyone. And we have actually, I'm going to get into this over and over and over again, because we have actually also been imposed belief or religion that's not really ours, which is not a bad religion, because there's no such thing. It's just as soon as the conquering forces, the negative forces want to overtake and have been using religion to fuck up our heads and trying to get us off our true path, and that have been doing terrible things. Losing my train of thought a little bit. That's what I mean. That's why I have to let the information come through. But anyway, that seed, we are not that. We are also indigenous people of that part of the world that have lived for the land. True Aryans. And that's going to be a whole other video. And tomorrow's guest, we're gonna talk about that, what it truly means to be Aryan, not the commonly known fascist, blonde hair, blue-eyed Aryan race that we're so commonly historically have been taught. So even though my appearance is such, my eyes are light blue, and I wish we had a better lighting so you can see that I emanate with light. But the point is that my people, all people are my people, but you know, we have been divided into races, and our races specifically have come from certain parts of the universe and realms and galaxies and planets, purposely, you know, for a purpose. We have been in such groups. We're all one once again, and all of people, actual human beings, are my brothers and sisters, and I love all of you, and that will never change. But just as a watch, an intricate watch, a good, let's say, Swiss mechanism watch has its functioning mechanisms that work for a purpose. Just like that, every race and nationality in this country, in this world, serve their purpose, and they are in a certain part of the world for a reason. And I'm going too deep into this to try to defend the fact that I'm actually doing this live feed. But I'm gonna make more videos on why I have a theory, why indigenous people of each part of the world were there for a purpose, until once again the Western European monarchies and such, you know, started conquering, colonizing, and so we're gonna get into that. But once again, tonight I wanted to talk about my experience visiting a reservation, a Blackfeet reservation in north of Montana. They're right by Canada. And the whole experience for me was, you know, I took a bus there. You know, it's a whole other story why I had to take a bus, but the fact remains that I took a bus, and it was a 3-day trip. And the whole trip from beginning to end was a great spiritual experience, as my whole life has been. And everyone's life can be that way, and is that way, if you learn to open your eyes for real and pay attention to everything that's going on around you, and the messages that are being put forth for you all the time, every day, every second, every minute. So it was an amazing journey. But right when I got to Montana, I was on a bus with this girl. I wish I took her information, because she was full of so much information. She was a girl, and I got on this little bus in Missoula to go to It's late right now, man. I can't remember the city that I got off at. But anyway, my final destination was Browning. But so on the way from Missoula up north to towards Browning, I was on this small bus with this girl that was actually coming from Washington D.C. and she's an activist, and she was speaking to the President Obama at that time about all the issues and all the real problems that people can consider conspiracies that have been conspired against Native Americans since the Spanish have conquered these lands. And when you say conquer, I really wish that people would really take a second and sit back and realize exactly what that means, because as I said before, that conquering comes with rape. Rape. I hate the word, but sometimes we don't stop and think how terrible something like that is, and the thousands and the millions of people killed and tortured. Every time I really think about it, my soul and heart cries. So anyway, this girl, she was so much full. She was full of information. We started right away. She started talking about these things. She lived in Queens for some time, and I grew up in Queens, and so it was cool, that she lived in New York for some time. But I was going over there to meet a girl, so it wasn't anything like I was trying to get to know her, on the opposite sex kind of level. But we hit it off because she was so loud, and she felt so strongly about all the issues that her community and her communities and her people and her race have been facing and having to deal with. And she actually studied DNA, and because there's a whole issue going on with DNA and Native Americans, and how much of actual Native Americans are still left in this country, meaning that you can actually trace their DNA back to Native tribes. So I'm going to talk about my experience, and I'm going to go back to that bus ride again. But yeah, even before getting to Missoula, there were a lot of Native Indians on the bus, and I'm the type of person. I'm not gonna blow smoke up my own ass, but I thank God for this, and I should really thank God for being here tonight. Should have done that in the beginning, but I'm the type of person that, I come with love. I come everywhere I go. I come with love, and I guess true souls and true spirits, true good spirits feel that. So I was very welcomed by the Native Americans, just even on a bus ride. And then so finally I get to Browning. I'm kind of hopping around everywhere, but I promise you it'll be a point. Finally, when getting to Browning, I was coming to see this girl, and you know, that whole family, her family picked me up. And they're, you know, they're the most welcoming people. And I'm not saying that that has anything to do with them being Native American, or maybe it does. But you know, that family in particular, you know, very, very welcoming. But get into Browning. You know, obviously Browning is a Blackfeet reservation. For all of those that don't know, Blackfeet Indians are still probably the second largest Native American reservation in the U.S. Um, right away, I noticed. Right away, I noticed the poverty, and and they had stray dogs running around. Now, you could tell me that, you know, reservations govern themselves and things like that, and maybe they should do something about the stray dogs or whatever. But to me, I come from Ukraine, growing up was being raised in Ukraine in the early 90s, and you know, poverty was a big issue, and you know, we had stray dogs running around. I believe we still do have stray dogs running around, but it's you know, once I came to the States and I've noticed, I was like, wow, there's, you know, this country really is freaking wealthy because there are no stray dogs running around. So now you might say like, you know, whatever, stray dogs running around, but you know, this is not a third world country. That's first of all. And second of all, these are the original people who rightly are supposed to be on this land. So poverty, stray dogs. Next, I've noticed a lot of, and I don't want to say this the wrong way, so I'm going to think about it for a second. A lot of teenage mothers, I'm not saying, you know, anything bad. I mean, and by, you know, by no means do I ever judge anything like that. And given life is a blessing, but a lot of teenage mothers, you know, with no men at home, and yeah, you know, for it to be in America and to have, you know, where everywhere else, you know, that's not, you know, that's not something you encounter, you know, to see that, just like in Ukraine, you know, back in the day, it was the same thing, you know, 16, 17, 15. You know, which you notice this in a lot of countries that, you know, actually it is in a lot of countries that are have a lot of poverty, and so that kind of gives you an idea like you're in America. The people that were almost completely wiped out by someone that came in. The people that I'm gonna get into my next thing later. The next thing I was about to say later too, but basically, yeah, the people that, you know, if you think about it, nowadays they should have everything. You know, we should all of us that live here, especially, you know, if your ancestors had anything to do with, you know, the wiping out and the raping and the killing of the native people, everyone should be doing something to make sure that these people have everything. So it kind of, you know, it kind of gives you an idea. But obviously, all those things, you know, the stray dogs, the teenage pregnancy, you know, households with no dads, you know, you like, once again, you'll encounter that in poverty-stricken areas and countries all around the world. But, you know, that's whatever. That's, you know, that's not a crazy issue. But the next thing I notice blows my mind. So we go to order pizza, and you know, I take a slice. I wasn't vegan at the time. I'll take a slice, and I noticed this, like, this aftertaste. And the aftertaste is, you know, not like the one where you can take a couple more bites and you know, you can kind of ignore it and go on. This is an aftertaste of you know, like medicine or something. So I'm like, all right, well, whatever, you know, maybe it's just I've been on a bus for too long. You know, maybe I'm feeling a certain way, you know what I mean? Like, who knows? They had Dr. Pepper. So I'm like, pour myself, you know, some Dr. Pepper. I go to drink it. Same aftertaste. I'm like, all right, shoot. Fucking pizza Dr. Pepper definitely has to be me, man. Definitely has to be the long ass bus trip. You know what I'm saying? Anyone that's been on the bus for a long time, you know, it's cool for like a day or whatever, but if you're on it for 3 days, you know, it's just tiring, man. You know, you're on this crampy ass bus, man. You know, no one has showered in a couple days. You know what I mean? Grown ass man. You know what I mean? It's a stinky ride, stinky experience. So I'm like, all right, this has to be me. So I'm like, I asked my hosts, amazing family. I asked them, I'm like, can I get some tap water? You know, I'm not saying anything yet about this. I'm like, can I get some tap water? You know, she lets the tap run for a little bit, like all of us do. You know what I'm saying? Pours me a glass. I go to taste it. Same freaking aftertaste. I'm like, oh shit, man. I'm like, yo, you know what? It's definitely me. I'm not gonna drink. I'm not gonna freaking eat. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna sleep it off. Tomorrow I'll wake up. I'll be able to do all these things. So next day comes, and we go to so I could get I stayed at their house. They would, if any of you are gonna watch this, thank you so much. But I stayed at their house. But the next day I'm like, you know what? I can't be rude. I gotta get a motel room, whatever's available. So we go to the motel. I pay for the room, and in the little lobby or whatever was the motel. So the lobby isn't big. They had like donuts and tea and all of this. So I'm like, awesome tea. I'm about to have some tea and a donut, man. I'm still hungry from the day before. So I get the tea bag, from the water jug, you know, pour myself hot water. You know, I'll play with the tea bag a little bit, and I take it out, go to drink it. Same aftertaste. And I'm talking, it's once again, it's not like this bearable, whatever, you know, aftertaste. It's like a strong medicinal aftertaste, like something you would taste at the hospital. So I'm like, man, at this point, I'm like, yo, something is up. It's definitely something going on. You know, this is the second day. I slept for like 12 hours. You know what I'm saying? I caught up to my sleep, like showered, washed everything. You know what I'm saying? Brushed my teeth like 5 times after, you know, not being able to do that all those days on the bus. So man, at that point I'm bugged out, man. I leave. The girl that I was with, she's like, you know, let's go to the grocery store and pick up some stuff. You know what I mean? I'll cook for you later. So I'm like, dope, let's go, man. I'm like, all right, no doubt. Finally, man, there's you know, it has to be, because last night it was a pizzeria, it was a Dr. Pepper. You know what I mean? Today it's a lobby in a motel, but still it's weird. But grocery shop, man, like finally. So we pull up to this huge, super nice looking, pimped out grocery store. Like I'm talking, you know, most of the suburbs that I've been to in the States don't have grocery shops, you know, this big and this nice. So we walk in and it's like freaking brand new, like floors are clean as hell. And everything's in there, man. Like freaking just so much choices. Everything's there, fucking. So I'm like, cool, man. I'm finally gonna have an opportunity to eat, man, some real food. So we pick up stuff and you know, me, I kind of make sure that, you know, I'm still not saying anything. I'm still not mentioning anything. And I kind of make sure that we, you know, kind of get different stuff, you know, from different categories. So, because at this point, I'm like, yo, I'm about to experiment this shit. I'm like, you know, let me find out, man. Let me find out like what's going on. But and then, you know, I'm a positive as dude. I'm thinking like, nah, you bugging out. You know, you're having some aftertaste in your mouth after the long trip. You know, you're about to get some real food. Like, let's do this. But at the same time, I'm skeptical, and I'm like, you know, I'm gonna experiment. I'm gonna get, you know, different stuff. Get some sweet shit. Get some meat. Get some salads. Get some this, that. You know, like different shit. All right, so we get it. We go. She cooks. And I remember as soon as I tried like the chicken or something, right away it was fuck this aftertaste, man. So at that point, I knew that something was up. And at that point, oh, and you know, I even tried candy. Same aftertaste. But yeah, at that point, I knew something is going on, and I knew exactly what is going on, because going back to the girl that I was with on the bus that was a biologist, and she was studying, you know, Native American DNA and, you know, different tribes around the country, and she was a spokeswoman and things like that. She told me, she's like, they even poison the food with certain things to wipe out the natives. Now, some people might be like, well, there's GMO and almost everything that's sold out there, but this is not GMO. This is literally poison. I found out later that the life expectancy of a man on the black feet reservation is like 43. That was 2015. 43. Now, most of third world countries is probably even higher. I'm gonna have to look that up, but most likely it's even higher. So 43 is the life expectancy of most men. I noticed that the people that I encountered had, you know, health issues, I should say. So basically, you got stray dogs, you got poverty, and the scariest thing is you have food that's actually poisoned to, kill off such a beautiful tradition culture filled people, the Blackfeet Indians. And everyone I met was welcoming, cool as hell, down to earth, just people with good intention and just vibrating and positive. And of course, not every single person is impossible anywhere, but what I got generally out of the place is everybody cool as hell, dope, which is more than I can say for most of the suburbs that I've been in the States. So I'm not here to talk about these issues. Now, everyone, all the white folks in America, always got shit to say, like, Native Americans are fucking, most of them are drunks and alcoholics. And they don't give a fuck, and it's not our fault, it's their fault, it's fucking this and that. Okay. This live feed, this soon to be video, is not only to talk about the issues. I want to give a message to the kids and the parents of the kids, but mostly and most important to the kids, the younger generation, that I noticed while I was on the res have no interest and are so overtaken by the pop culture, which, I mean, they're kids, right? That's what they see on TV. That's what they hear in school. But besides the powwows, I noticed they don't get any more exposure to their tradition, their culture. Maybe they do get exposure, but I guess since it's not cool, and since Native Americans have such a bad, stereotypical image in America, I guess they don't want to know about it. Now, the kids that were in the family that I came to visit, amazing kids, man. With all the shit that's going on and with all the pressure that we have in today's world, these kids were, going to school, getting amazing grades, didn't go out. They were like 15, 16 at the time, no drinking, no drugs, like individual souls, you know, with their own opinions, and you know, very smart, and just amazing kids, man. Just like you know, most of the people that I met over there. But these kids were super dope. But I didn't notice that they were that interested in, you know, finding out and learning about their own background and culture. You know, and I don't, you know, I'm not trying to say it's their fault. This is gonna take me to my next point. So the girl that I met on the bus, you know, I mean, I knew the things that she told me next, but you know, you kind of, you know, always think about these things, but you know, you don't really, you know, soak into it and really think about it. But you know, she told me, she's like, listen, imagine, and I can imagine, and I do feel, you know, what she told me is because, once again, I'm Slavic, and we had the same exact thing done to us. But you know, she told me when you know, when the Western Europeans came here, and you know, the Spaniards, you know, when they were conquering, you know, and you know, everyone knows, if you look in history books, you know, they were giving out blankets with chicken pox and malaria, and you know, all these other disease, you know. But she was like, so imagine, they come, they kill, they rape, they leave the natives practically with nothing, you know, and then they come, you know, however many, you know, tribes are left, and of course the numbers are you know, so much smaller at that time. They come and they try to trade, and you know, they took away all the food resources, you know, from natives, and things like that. And so then they come, they tell you, you know, be Catholic, and we'll give you, like, you know, we'll give you money, we'll feed you, we'll give you gold, we'll give you clothes. And she explained to me, she's like, think about it, you know, imagine, you know, you're in that position, and of course you're gonna go, of course you're gonna, you know, switch to another belief just to feed your family, and you know, because you're trying to survive. So, you know, so and then, you know, you also notice, just like you notice in the hood in the States, you notice liquor stores and gun stores everywhere. You know, more than McDonald's, man. Actually, there were no McDonald's, but there were gun stores, there were pawn stores, there were liquor stores. One thing that we all need to understand, same thing with Slavic people, alcohol was purposely created with a certain percentage, certain volume of alcohol to destroy, specifically destroy it. Our DNA, our genetic makeup reacts a certain way to this poison. You know, we're not even, and never have, you know, before, our ancestors never, you know, even socially, we're not supposed to touch the stuff. But it was very meticulously created for the purpose of wiping us out, and for the purpose of dumbing us down. Just like, you know, most of the pharmaceutical drugs that they feed us are created to work a certain way on your brain makeup, to dumb you down, on the chemical makeup of your brain. Excuse me, it's, once again, it's late, on the to, you know, this medicine is created specifically, you know, very cleverly, a certain way to, one, dumb us down mentally. Two, and this is very, very important, dumb us down spiritually. A very huge issue happens when a people, especially an indigenous people, are stripped of their spiritual background, they're stripped of them spiritual selves, to the point that they and we don't know who we are. The same thing, the same issue with Slavic people. You know, different faiths and different religions have been imposed on us for centuries, for millenniums, that, you know, I'm not saying we weren't. First of all, everyone has to understand one thing. Each indigenous people on every continent at that specific location of the world, you know, rather it's Africa or Australia or Eastern Europe or South America or North America, you know, and today we're talking about the Native Americans, so let's keep talking about the Native Americans. You know, all these people, and even though you might call it pagan, but all these people had very, very deep roots and understanding of who exactly they were spiritual, meaning they were living one with Mother Earth, one. Most, if not all, Native American tribes in America, before the Europeans got here, before Western Europeans got here, didn't even have such an understanding as jealousy or hatred or, you know, the evil genetic of going to other lands and conquering. I mean, did they have their own issues within tribes and you know, throughout the land and things like that? Yeah, I'm sure they did. But not on the global mass scale that we're talking about. You know, Native Americans, they you know, you see, that's why when you watch Pocahontas and you see Pocahontas going and talking to her grandmother, that this is, you know, is that this grand tree, you know, they're showing, it's not any funny cartoonish stuff that they're showing. We should all have this understanding, you know, and if you think it's corny, you're corny, but we should all have this understanding that this whole earth is a living, breathing organism, and we are very much part of this grand organism, and we should love it and treat it well, or it's going to get rid of us. And we're on that path. You know, Earth has had multiple rebirths, you know, with different elemental, you know, the 5 elements. It has had 4 elemental cataclysms, you know, to give itself. They're like, all right, you germ scum ass mother suckers are eating me up from over here. I'm all right, I'm gonna, you know, cause a flood, you know, to you know, and be reborn, you know, to rejuvenate, you know, to rejuvenate myself. Like, yo, how, you know what I mean? How long are you gonna keep effing around? So I want everyone to understand this. Really, really think about this. Like, once again, especially Blackfeet Indians. They lived, land just like for all the rest of the tribes throughout the land. Land was everything, as it should be. That's why they're so big on them being taken off their land and being moved and things like that. It's tragic. Just like if we go back to the movie Avatar, the stupid ass animal. I can't call them people, I can't call them human beings, but the stupid ass animals that came from Earth to their planet, they're setting fire and to all the trees and all the flowers and all the animals that are around. And they're in this big, they're in that big machine, and they're setting fire, and they see the avatars, the natives of that planet, crying. I mean, in complete and utter distress. But they're kind of just, going right by, and in their stupid animalistic intellect, they can't even fathom, why these avatars are crying. Not avatars. I'm sorry. Once again, my excuse is that it's late. What were they? Pandorians or something like that? I haven't seen the movie since it came out. And this is how all of us should be. This planet is our mother. It's a living, breathing organism. We have to love it and hug it and cherish it and work towards its growth. Not fucking litter and destroy and fucking beat it up and exploit it and use all of its resources like we've done. What would happen if I would come up to you and grab like a straw with a sharp end on it and fucking poke through it and start pumping blood out of your liver, just like we've been pumping gold and oil and all these things? What do you think will happen to you? You think you will feel good? Anyway, the moral of the story is, and also, one thing that I always keep bringing up, these dumbass. Now, once again, these are, for a fact, reptilian DNA, humanoid, conquerors that were set off to conquer America in the late 1400s and in 15th century, even though Vikings have been here way longer. They don't, they keep saying and keep thinking just because they had weaponry and sailed ships and things like that, that they were the civilized ones, and wear fucking mink coats and things like that, that they were the civilized ones. The Native Americans on this land didn't even have an idea of hatred and didn't have an idea of, ooh, let's sit here for 200 years and think of a perfect weapon to fucking kill someone and fucking cut out their eyes and fucking conquer and rape and do all this evil shit. No, on the opposite. They are actually the civilized ones, as most indigenous people are, because they understood and lived one with this planet. And in return, they were getting love too. So, and I'm gonna make another video, and I'm gonna keep making videos. We're gonna keep talking about these things. But one thing I definitely want to say to the young kids, young Native American kids, and once again, maybe it's not my place, but I think we should all be speaking out about this. We should all be doing something about this, because once again, we are all one. And now that we are all intermixed in this land, and we want a better future, we want to leave a better a better world for the next generation, let's all speak out and do something about it. If you can't do nothing about it, at least say something, especially now when we have tools like YouTube and people can watch and spread the word. And I'm overtaken. I have been always overtaken by the disgust of all these things. And I'm going to be back, and I'm going to make videos, and I promise I will be more together, because, you know, it's been just a long week. And but I want to say one thing to the kids. You know, your culture is beautiful. Don't let them tell you that, you know, your adults are alcoholics and drunks, and this, all of this has been a very meticulous plan to overtake and overthrow. And the reason for that plan is because, you know, those Western European conquering, you know, beasts and creatures, less human, were afraid of your knowledge, afraid of the knowledge you had, because the indigenous people of this country had tremendous knowledge, as all indigenous people throughout the world. I have a theory on why I think that the people that are yanked out of their own habitat, why most of the time they tend to not do so good and not know who they are when they are exiled or moved to other parts of the world. And I'm going to make a video about that. We're going to talk about that. But now that we are in this country, in this wonderful, amazing country that gives us all these opportunities, but we cannot ignore all the evils that have been committed into building this country and into maintaining the power. So all the beautiful Native American kids, you guys have to realize that your ancestors and your culture and your roots and your DNA is full of light, full of love, and it's cool as hell. Find out about it. Go deeper into it. There's actually a wonderful book that I read in the back that I read back in the day, and it's part of the Celestine Prophecy series, and it's called The 10th Insight, Holding the Vision. So I suggest you go, you get that book, you know, even if you're not Native American, go get that book, read it. It's an amazing book. It kind of goes into the secrets, the secret, ancient, sacred knowledge that the natives held. which is universal knowledge, but every specific people of every part of the world have specific scriptures. So, and it is for all humanity, but it is also specifically for that group of people, actual human beings. And then I would also suggest everyone watch War Party. This wonderful human being, Lynn. Shout out to Lynn. Told me about this. Told me about this book. I'm sorry. Told me about this movie, and it's a really dope movie. It really shows how even so much longer after native people were overthrown, and I shouldn't say overthrown because that kind of relates to like overthrown of a throne or something like that of a king but when they were conquered, maybe I shouldn't use conquered either, because spiritually and mentally you will never be conquered. But yeah, when the people were killed off and are being killed off one by one as we speak today, much later after the whole Columbus coming over here, and we're talking in the 20th century, still the terrible exploits and the things of white Western European animal creatures to keep destroying the native pride and the native soul and the native spirit continued, and it was terrible, full of hate and destruction and injustice. Even though the universe and the creator and the super consciousness, the super conscious soul is very just, extremely just. People say life is not fair. It's extremely fair. And everyone will get what they put out. So if you think that these people that have committed all these terrible things are not going to pay for, and I said people, these animals, these beasts that committed all these terrible things are not going to pay for it, rest assured they're going to be paid for it. But back to the younger generation, man, to you kids, it doesn't matter what tribe, even though there's not a lot of you guys left, man, not a lot of native people that they're being killed off every day from the food that they eat, poisoned, and much worse than the poison that all the rest of us eat, the GMO and all these other genetically modified organisms and drugs and hormones that they put in our food. Yeah, you guys are awesome. Your culture is awesome. Find out about it. You can keep reading the Bible if you see the true message in the Bible, not the human written false messages that the Catholic Church tries to impose on you, but the actual truth, the love of Christ that he tried to pass on to all of us. You guys are awesome. You guys are beautiful people, and you need to revive your roots, revive your people. Love yourselves and love each other. And only love can save us all. And only love is greater than everything else. And only love was the cause, the pure single cause for all of creation. And it's the strongest vibe and frequency in all of the universes and all of the dimensions and all of the realms. So yeah, War Party is the movie you gotta see. Everybody gotta see it. I don't give a shit if you native, not native. Everyone should watch that movie. And the book that you should read is The 10th Insight, Holding the Vision. So go get those, download it, look it up, do whatever you gotta do. Please remember, I come with the purest intuition. And if there are some native people out there that think I have no place, I apologize. But I don't apologize because I mean this shit. Everything that I say on this channel, I mean this shit. So please, to all the rest of us, please wake up to everything that is going on. Let's not let these evil, nefarious, reptilian, amphibian, cold-blooded creatures and all the other nefarious, and it's not only alien creatures. It's there are plenty of, like I said, animal people on this planet that vibrate at they don't even exist, but they are here to cause havoc and distress and to tempt you. So I come with peace. Everyone, all the actual human beings out there, please, and especially in this country, let's all do something about it. Let's all speak out about it. Let's revive the native people. You know what? We need them. We need each other. We need to realize that we're one. I'm going to keep repeating this. This could never get old. I'm going to keep repeating it until I die, until I pass on to the next life, and then I'll still be repeating it. This whole universe, we all serve a purpose, and we are all one. Your neighbor is you. So if you do something evil to your neighbor, if you're not going to pay attention, if you're going to say, it's their problem, it's not happening to me, you're going to pay for that. We're all going to pay for that. We're going to collapse. And we're going to struggle. And we're going to reincarnate into lower life forms. And struggle even harder. This is not some bullshit. All of those that know will understand. So please, 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 if you know these things, and if you're listening, you already know these things, let's do something. To the natives, once again, you are beautiful. You should be living 300, 400, 500 years. Your men should not have a life expectancy of 42, 43 years old. Don't let them rob you of who you are. They have done it for too long. Get that back. Let's all speak out about it. Shout out to everybody that's going to watch it. I love you. No one is on right now. It's 2:51, but I want to say this live. I know this channel is going to grow global. And it's gonna grow global because this is unscripted. And this is something that really matters. And everybody is going to watch. Let's all come together. Shout out to the one person that's watching. I didn't get on the chat to talk to you, but we're all going to come together. Everybody that comments. A very quick shout out. Today I had a super pleasant surprise. Patricia Robinson. Shout out to you. You left me an amazing comment. I got home and I was overtaken by love. So thank you so much for that comment. Well, please, people, don't let them distract you with foolery. Take your soul, take your consciousness back into your hands. You beautiful, beautiful, God-like creatures. And not creatures, you God-like creations. Please, let's all realize how long of a spiritual evolution it took for us to get to the human form. How complex our organisms are. How many lifetimes it took to get here. Even though it's an illusion and matters is what you perceive, but it's extremely important. We are extremely important. We are God's children. This is the only low frequency planet that has the inhabitants of it, the true inhabitants of it, have an opportunity to skip all the other spiritual evolution dimensions and become enlightened and become godlike and become demigods. You know, other dimensions and other realms and other planetary systems don't have this. Other creations don't have this capacity, don't have this chance like we do. The Creator loves us. Let's love each other. Let's love ourselves. I'm going to wrap up. Tomorrow I have a secret guest, a Slavic historian. And we're going to talk about the Slavic people and the importance of rejuvenating our people. Just like I talked about the importance of rejuvenating the native people tonight. I love you all. Come join me tomorrow night, 10 p.m. And once again, let's all do something about it. Let's take this universe back into our hands. Love you all. Peace out. I'll be back tomorrow also in the afternoon to talk about Mayweather, Mcgregor. Something light, man. We got to talk about something light and fun. All right. Peace, love, unity, prosperity. Assalamu alaikum. Have a good night. We out.